Hello all, welcome to this course called Solve Aptitude Problems Easily. Let us recall few algebraic equations that we had learnt in our school days. And it is mandatory for you to memorize these algebraic equations to solve problems quickly in an aptitude test. The first one is a plus b multiplied by a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. The second one is a plus b the whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. Third one is a minus b the whole square is equal to a square plus b square minus 2ab. The fourth one is x plus a multiplied by x plus b will result in x multiplied by x plus a plus b as a whole plus a multiplied by b. And the fifth one is 10a plus b multiplied by 10c plus d will result in bd plus 10 multiplied by bc plus ad as a whole plus 100 multiplied by ac. Please make sure that you memorize these equations because it is very important while solving your aptitude tests. Now, using these algebraic equations, let us solve few more multiplication problems. We must understand one fact. That is, our mind is very happy and finds it very easy while calculating squares of two-digit numbers ending with 0. This is because it is very easy to calculate. For example, 10 square, 20 square, 30 square, etc. Similarly, our mind finds it very easy while calculating squares of single digit numbers. For example, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, etc. Therefore, the below problem 84 multiplied by 76 can be reduced to such easily calculative values as shown here. 84 can be written as 80 plus 4 and 76 can be written as 80 minus 4. Therefore, using the algebraic equation a plus b multiplied by a minus b is equal to a square minus b square, we can easily calculate 80 plus 4 multiplied by 80 minus 4 as 80 square minus of 4 square, which will result in 6400 minus 16 when calculated will give us the answer of 6384, which is nothing but 6384, and which is the actual result for 84 multiplied by 76. Similarly, on similar lines, we can also calculate one more problem, 92 multiplied by 88, where 92 can be written as 90 plus 2 and 88 can be written as 90 minus 2, and therefore using the equation a plus b multiplied by a minus b is equal to a square minus b square, we can easily calculate 90 plus 2 multiplied by 90 minus 2 as 90 square minus 2 square, which will result in 8100 minus 4 when calculated will give us the final answer as 8096, which is the actual answer when we multiply 92 and 88. Similarly, we can also calculate one more problem, that is 41 multiplied by 39, where 41 can be replaced or written as 40 plus 1 and 39 can be written as 40 minus 1. Therefore, using the formula or equation a plus b multiplied by a minus b is equal to a square minus b square, we can easily calculate 40 plus 1 multiplied by 40 minus 1 as 40 square minus 1 square, which will result in 1600 minus 1, which when calculated will give us the answer as 1599. Now, let us calculate or let us solve one more final problem based on this algebraic equation, and that is 57 multiplied by 63, where 57 can be written as 60 minus 3 and 63 can be written as 60 plus 3. And therefore, using the algebraic equation a plus b into a minus b is equal to a square minus b square, we can calculate 60 minus 3 multiplied by 60 plus 3 as 60 square minus 3 square, which will result in 3600 minus 9, which when calculated will give us the final answer as 3591, which is the actual answer when we multiply 57 and 63. I hope you now understood how to solve multiplication problems using this algebraic equation. Now, let's explore few more calculations. By the way, how do you quickly find the squares of a number? And this is what we are going to learn next. Before learning how to find the squares of numbers easily, it is important that you must know the squares of numbers from 1 to 12 by heart. If you know squares from 1 to 12 by heart, then the rest is very easy. Let us see how to find the square of a number ending with 0. In this slide, we are going to learn how to find the squares of a numbers ending with a 0. The square of a number ending with 0 will be the square of the number without the 0 followed by 2 zeros. For example, 20 square is nothing but 2 square followed by 2 zeros, which will result in 400. Similarly, 80 square is nothing but 8 square followed by 2 zeros, which is nothing but 6400 or 6400. Similarly, as an assignment, try to find squares of other numbers that ends with 0 before moving to the next slide. For example, find the answers for 70 square and 90 square. Please solve this problem before moving ahead. Okay, now let's see how to find the squares of numbers ending with 5. Now, to find the squares of any number ending with 5, we can use this formula. Any number ending with 5 square is equal to that number multiplied by that number plus 1 followed by 25. For example, we have 75 square. It means 7 is the number that is ending with 5 square. Therefore, we can replace that number in the above formula, and therefore 75 square is nothing but 7 multiplied by 7 plus 1, which is nothing but 8, which will result in 56, and followed by 25, and this final result becomes 5625, which is the actual answer for 75 square. Now, to explain once again, any number ending with 5 square, right? So by saying this above sentence, we can easily understand that the number that ends with 5 square is 7, right? And replacing the 7 wherever number is there, right? So number becomes 7 and number plus 1 becomes 8. Therefore, 7 multiplied by 8 is 56, which when followed by 25 becomes 5625. And this is a shortcut method to find the square of a number that ends with 5 square. That is, any number that ends with a 5. Now, similarly, 85 square is nothing but 8 multiplied by 8 plus 1, that is nothing but 9, which results in 72, which when followed by 25 gives us 7225, which is the actual answer for 85 square. Similarly, 55 square is nothing but 5 multiplied by 6, which results in a value of 30, which when followed by 25 gives us the final answer as 3025, which is the actual answer for 55 square. Let us now learn how to find the squares of numbers that are ending with 1 and 6. Now, to find the squares of any number ending with 1 and 6, we can use this algebraic equation a plus b the whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. Therefore, 61 square can be written as 60 plus 1 the whole square, and by applying the equation, this becomes 60 square plus 1 square plus 2 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 1, which will result in 3600 plus 1 plus 120, and when calculated, this gives the final answer as 3721, which is the actual answer for 61 square. Similarly, 46 square can be written as 45 plus 1 the whole square, and by applying the equation, this becomes 45 square plus 1 square plus 2 multiplied by 45 multiplied by 1, which will result in 2025 plus 1 plus 90, and this gives the final answer as 2116, which is the actual answer for 46 square. Similarly, using the same logic that we discussed in the previous slide, we can find the answers for the numbers ending with 4 and 9. I'll repeat, this slide will give you or will help you understand how to find the squares of a number ending with 4 and 9. Okay, but the algebraic equation is a minus b square is equal to a square plus b square minus 2ab. Let me repeat, in the previous example where we were trying to find the square of a number ending with 1 and 6, the algebraic equations used was a plus b the whole square, whereas to find the square of a number ending with 4 and 9, we are now using the algebraic equation a minus b the whole square, which is nothing but a square plus b square minus 2ab. Having said that, 69 square is nothing but 70 minus 1 the whole square. It means 69 the whole square can be written as 70 minus 1 the whole square, and by applying this equation, this becomes 70 square plus 1 square minus 2 multiplied by 70 multiplied by 1, which will result in 4900 plus 1 minus of 140, which when calculated will give the final answer as 4761, which is the actual answer for 69 square. Similarly, 84 square can also be written as 85 minus 1 the whole square, and by applying the equation, this becomes 85 square plus 1 square minus 2 multiplied by 85 multiplied by 1, which will result in 7225 plus 1 minus of 170, and when calculated this gives the final result as 7056, which is the actual answer for 84 square. Now, after so many calculations, we have now been able to get the squares of numbers ending with 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9. Also, in further lessons, I am going to teach you how to find squares of all kinds of numbers. For now, I am going to teach you how to multiply two numbers that are close to each other. The problem is 103 multiplied by 104. As you can see, these numbers 103 and 104 are close to each other, isn't it? Now, the problem 103 multiplied by 104 can be solved using the algebraic equation x plus a multiplied by x plus b is equal to x square plus ax plus bx plus b, which will finally result in x multiplied by x plus a plus b as a whole plus a multiplied by b. That is 103 multiplied by 104 can be written as 100 plus 3 multiplied by 100 plus 4. Therefore, by looking at the algebraic equation, we can easily say that x is 100, a is 3 and b is 4. Isn't it? Now, therefore, by substituting all these values in the above equation, we get 100 multiplied by 100 plus 3 plus 4 as a whole plus a multiplied by b, that is nothing but 3 multiplied by 4, which when calculated together will give us the answer as 10,712, which is the actual answer for 103 multiplied by 104. If you find this calculation quite difficult, then I will show you one more method. The same problem that we solved earlier can also be mentally solved as shown in the slide. We have numbers that are close to 100 that needs to be multiplied. Then just remember or memorize these steps. Step 1. 103 is 3 more than 100. Step 2. 104 is 4 more than 100. Step 3. Multiply 3 and 4 to get 12 and we will call it as A. Now as a step 4, add 103 with 4 to get 107 and call it B. And as a last step 5, combine B and A to make it 10712, that is 10,712, and therefore 103 multiplied by 104 is 10,712. Though initially these steps looks overwhelming, let me tell you, once you start practicing it by memorizing these steps, then solving such kind of problems becomes your second nature. You will start loving to solve such kind of problems. And these steps will work only for those numbers that are close to 100. Now, let me give you one more example. We have another example where we are multiplying 105 into 108 and these numbers are close to 100. Following the same method as we did earlier in the previous on the previous slide. Okay, following the step 1, 105 is 5 more than 100, 108 is 8 more than 100. Multiplying 5 and 8 we get 40 and let's call it as A. Step 4, add 105 with 8 to get 113 and let's call it as B. Now as a final step, just combine B and A together to make it 11340 and 11,340 is the actual answer for 105 into 108. Did you see how simple it is by just following few steps to calculate these two numbers which are close to 100? Now, let me give you one more example. 95 multiplied by 98. 95 is 5 less than 100. That is a step 1. Step 2 is 98 is 2 less than 100. Right? As a step 3, multiply 5 and 2 to get 10 and call it A. Step 4, subtract 2 from 95 to get 93 and let's call it as B. As a last step, combine B and A to make it 9310 and therefore 9310 is the actual answer for 95 multiplied by 98. Please note that in the previous problem, we did an addition instead of subtraction. That is, in this problem where 105 is 5 more than 100 and 108 is 8 more than 100, we did an addition instead of subtraction because the numbers were more than 100. Whereas here in the current program, okay, in the current problem, the numbers are less than 100 and that's the reason we did subtraction over here. If you did not understand what I said, then revisit my previous problem and compare this problem and you will be able to understand better. We just learned how to multiply two numbers that are close to 100. Now, let us learn how to multiply two numbers that are close to 50. Remember that the steps for multiplying numbers close to 100 and multiplying numbers close to 50 are totally different. And make sure you do not get confused. Now, let's start. In this slide, I am going to show you how to multiply two numbers that are close to 50. For example, if the problem is 55 into 59, as it shows these numbers are close to 50. Okay, so we can consider the algebraic expression x plus a multiplied by x plus b is equal to x multiplied by x plus a plus b as a whole plus a multiplied by b. Therefore, 55 multiplied by 59 can be written as 50 plus 5 multiplied by 50 plus 9. In that case, comparing this with the algebraic expression, we can easily understand that x is 50, a is 5 and b is 9. And also we understand that 50 can be written as 100 divided by 2. Now follow these steps that I am going to show you, and it is required that you have to memorize these steps to do the multiplication. And also understand this, these steps are not the same as we did earlier for those numbers that were close to 100. These steps are completely different from those that we solved in the earlier problem. Now, so to multiply two numbers which are close to 50, follow these steps. We know 55 is 5 more than 50. We know 59 is 9 more than 50. Step 3, 59 plus 9, 55 plus 9 is 64. And as step 4, multiply 64 with 50. And as 50 can be replaced with 100 divided by 2, by calculating 64 divided by 2, we get 32, which when multiplied by 100, we get 3200, and let's call it as x. Right? So 60, let me repeat the step 4. Step 4 is multiply 64 with 50. As 50 can be easily replaced with 100 divided by 2, we have replaced 650 with 100 divided by 2. That is 64 into 50 is written as 64 into 100 divided by 2. And by dividing 64 by 2, we get 32, which when multiplied by 100, we get 3200 or 3200, and let's call it as x. Now as step 5, we have to multiply a and b, that is nothing but 5 and 9, and we'll call it as y. In our example, 5 multiplied by 9 is 45, and let's call it as y. And as a final step, we have to add both x and y. In our case, x is 3200 and y is 45, and adding these two numbers, we get the final answer as 3245. Therefore, 55 multiplied by 59 is 3245. Though it looks complicated initially, if you can practice for quite some time, it becomes really very easy. Now, let me show you another problem that involves numbers that are close to 50. We can consider the algebraic expression x plus a into x plus b is equal to x multiplied by x plus a plus b as a whole plus a multiplied by b. Here, 48 into 46 can be written as 50 plus of minus 2 multiplied by 50 plus of minus 4. Also, by comparing this with the algebraic equation, we will understand that x is 50, a is minus 2 and b is minus 4. Also, we know that 50 can be written as 100 divided by 2. Now, by following the steps to multiply two numbers that are close to 50, we will try to arrive at the final answer. Step 1, we know that 48 is 2 less than 50, 46 is 4 less than 50, and step 3 is 48 minus 4, where we get 44, and as a step 4, multiply 44 with 50, and we know that 50 can be easily replaced with by 100 divided by 2. Therefore, 44 multiplied by 50 can be written as 44 multiplied by 100 divided by 2, and when we divide 44 by 2, we get 22, and when 22 multiplied by 100, we get 2200, and let's call it as x. Now as step 5, we have to multiply both a and b, and in our case a and b are nothing but minus 2 and minus 4, which when multiplied we get a plus 8, and let's call it as y. And as the last step, let's add x and y. Therefore it becomes 2200 plus 8 and gives us the final answer as 2208. Therefore 48 into 46 is 2208. Now Let me show you one more example on similar lines. The problem is 44 square, which can be written as 44 multiplied by 44, and these numbers are close to 50. Using the same algebraic expression, okay, we can write 44 into 44 as 50 plus of minus 6 multiplied by 50 plus of minus 6. And by comparing this expression with the actual algebraic expression, we'll get that x is 50, a is minus 6, and b is minus 6. And also we know that 50 can be written as 100 divided by 2. And then by following the same step as discussed earlier in the previous program, in the previous problem, we actually get the answer as 1936. Therefore, 44 multiplied by 44 is 1936, and by just following these steps, we can easily calculate the multiplication problem involving two numbers that are close to 50, my dear friends. I understand initially you might find these steps as really overwhelming, but once you start practicing it, you will definitely find it very, very easy, and solving such problems becomes your second nature, my dear friends. Trust me on that. Now, let me show you one more problem before winding up problems on multiplication. The problem is 73 multiplied by 82. To solve this problem, we must make use of the fifth algebraic equation that I mentioned in the earlier slide. That is 10a plus b multiplied by 10c plus d, which will result in bd plus 10 multiplied by bc plus ad as a whole plus 100 multiplied by ac. Now, therefore, the problem 73 into 82 can be written as 10 multiplied by 7 plus 3, the whole multiplied by 10 multiplied by 8 plus 2. That is 10 multiplied by 7 is 70 plus 3 becomes 73, and 10 multiplied by 8 is 80 plus 2 becomes 82. Now, by seeing the expression, that is the algebraic equation, okay, we can replace these values into the algebraic equation, okay, and then figure out the final answer. That is, by looking at this expression and comparing this with the algebraic equation, we understand that a is 7, b is 3, c is 8, and d is 2. And therefore, by substituting all these values into this algebraic equation, we get the final answer as 5986. Now, the same problem can also be solved mentally as shown on the next slide, because this way of solving this problem is quite complicated. Therefore, I will show you one more way using which you can solve the same problem mentally in a more easier manner. Now, let us go ahead. We have to follow a few series of steps. The first step is that multiply 3 and 2 to get 6. Keep 6 in the units place of the answer. Then multiply 7 and 2 as well as 8 and 3 and add both the results. That is 14 plus 24, which will result in 38. Keep 8 in the tens place of the answer and carry forward 3 to the next step. Now multiply 7 and 8 to get 56. Add the carry forwarded 3 to 56 and put this in the 100th place. Therefore, the answer is 5986. So 56 plus carry forward 3 becomes 59, which I place it over here becomes 5986, and 5986 is the right answer for 73 into 82, my dear friends. Now, this method can be used to multiply any two numbers irrespective of the number of digits. I think so much is enough for this lesson. Let's stop this lesson here and continue with the division and fractions in the next lesson. But before coming to the next lesson, I would highly recommend you to revise this lesson thoroughly and then come to the next lesson. Start using the techniques that I've shown in this lesson with various other numbers of your choice. This will help you do calculations quickly using your mental power. Start practicing right now. Having said that, that's all for this lesson, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Feel free to post your opinions and comments in the comment section below. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then please do not forget to like, subscribe, and click on the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of the new updates on aptitude and problem solving. Having said that, meet you in the next lesson. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Love you all so much.